Thanks for joining me today. My name is Liz Watt and I'm a registered dietitian at the UNC Wellness Center. Now that it's November, it's time to talk about Thanksgiving and all the yummy fall foods that we can have during this time of year. One of my favorites to do is to have roasted root vegetables. What's so great about it is it's super easy, it's full of flavor, and it's full of nutrition. It's got all kinds of wonderful, yummy nutrients that your body needs. So let's get started. I have a bowl full of goodies here of all kinds of things. So we're gonna use today a variety of root vegetables. Now, feel free to play around with this. These are not set in stone. You don't have to do these, but these are some of my favorites. So something simple, Yukon Gold potatoes. Very easy, just scrub them up. They don't have to be big, just kind of like these little guys. We're gonna give them a chop. And you want all the pieces to be fairly uniform in size, about an inch, inch and a half. So as you can see, they're just kind of small little bite-sized pieces. So we have 3 Yukon Gold potatoes that we're gonna add to this. Now, if you don't like Yukon Golds or you don't have any Yukon Golds, you can swap it out. You can go ahead and use russets. You can use not roasted, you can use red skin potatoes, the little yummy baby fingerlings. You can even use purple potatoes and create some awesome color to this dish. So there we have 3 Yukon Gold potatoes. I really like sweet potatoes. I will go ahead and add these to all kinds of dishes in my house, or I'll just go ahead and roast a bunch of them and have them to throw in a salad. They're so sweet, they're like candies, you can just snack on them. So again, same size pieces, about these like little bite-sized little pieces. So I'm taking 1 sweet potato, but again, if you don't like sweet potatoes, you don't have to use them. Next, we're going to throw some parsnips into it. What in the world is a parsnip? Looks very similar to a carrot, except it's white. It's related to the carrot and the parsley family. Now, with these, when you get to the bottom part, you just kind of chop them into these little guys pieces here, throw them in there. The remainder of it, because it's a little bit bigger, I'm gonna slice it in half, and then I'm gonna take those pieces, and again, inch and a half pieces. All of these things, they're not a huge high water content, but they will shrink down a little bit as you're roasting them. So you want to make sure that they're not too small, because then they burn up really easily in the oven. You don't want that to happen. All right, next is gonna be a little bit more of a labor intensive deciding on which way you're gonna go and do it. Butternut squash. I absolutely love butternut squash. Anything butternut squash, I absolutely love. Roasting them is very similar to a flavor that the sweet potatoes. Now, I went ahead and bought a butternut squash, peeled it, chopped it in half, seeded it, and now I'm gonna go ahead and slice it. If you don't wanna go through that much work, it's a little bit of prep, but if you don't wanna go through that, you can also go to the grocery store in the freezer section or in the fresh produce section. You can get the already peeled and cut up pieces of butternut squash. And literally, you take that and you just dump it in your bowl and you're good to go. But we're gonna take it and we're going to, once you get past like that kind of first outer hard layer there, it's pretty easy to slice. You just put it in these long kind of sliced pieces like this, because then you can take them, anytime you cut, you want it to be flat. You don't want it to roll away. So you have your items here, they're flat, and you just cut them into your pieces. This one's gonna be a little bit big, slice it in half, and you've got all these little yummy bite-sized pieces here. Now the great thing about butternut squash is that you can use it for so many things. If you don't want to roast it, you don't have to add it to this recipe, but you do want to do something with butternut squash, you can add it to your soups. Oh my gosh, butternut squash soup is amazing. That might be something we'll do later in the week. All right, so these pieces are almost completely chopped up. All right. Last, we're gonna do some onion. You can use white onion, you can use red onion. Either, I have both. So I started using this for a different recipe, so I'm gonna use whatever I have here. Remember, if you look at an onion, we have the root end and then we have the tail. You wanna cut from the tail because you don't wanna take the root end apart, because then the whole onion just comes apart. So we have our roots still intact. But we want the onions to be kind of chunky, similar to other vegetables that we have. So we're literally just going to kind of chunk it. I'm not going to go all the way through that root quite yet. I'm going to now, whoopsies, now, because I want it to actually fall apart, because now I can take all these little pieces and have these yummy, yummy pieces there. All right, throw those in there. And as many as you want. If you wanna, I don't think I'm gonna add any more, but I could go ahead and add in probably about a quarter or so of this white onion, just give it a little different flavor. I like the flavor of red onion, so we're gonna use that today. All right, now is the fun part. Ooh, that onion's strong. All right, we're gonna take the butternut squash. I might have to save some. I might have to do 2 batches of this. Some of the potatoes, some of the sweet potatoes, and some parsnips. Now, one thing I did not add to this that I kind of wish I did is beets. Beets would be great in this recipe because the color. As you can see right now, except for my red onion, it's very kind of yellow, orange, white. Not a huge pop of color. Throw the beets in there and that would give you amazing flavor and color. We'll throw some garlic in there. Olive oil. I'm not measuring out. It's about a tablespoon or so. Shake it around. Salt. Pepper. If there's other seasonings you really want to use, go for it. Shake it around. You have your sheet pan ready to go, and you dump it out. Now, you want to make sure your sheet pan's big enough. You don't want these to be all on top of each other. You want there to be enough space that they are going to roast evenly. All right. There they go, just like that. Now, since I have extra ingredients here, I'm gonna do another pan. Now I'm gonna have 2 pans of roasted root vegetables. This is so yummy. 425 for about 45 minutes to an hour. Go ahead and check it around 40-45 minutes because you don't want them to get overcooked because then they get soft and they get really mushy because if you don't eat them all in one sitting, which this is a lot for one person to eat in one sitting, if you're gonna end up having any leftovers, they start to get soggy. So you want them a little bit more on the tender crisp side. So go ahead and put them in at 425, about 45 minutes to an hour, and you got yourself a super yummy side dish. This is great. I made this a couple years ago for Thanksgiving, and it was wonderful because if you don't really want like the mashed potatoes or the sweet potato casserole, or even if you do want that, you can have like that, kind of like the softer thing, and then this is gonna be obviously the harder, more intact vegetables. Really good. So I'll see you in about 45 minutes and we'll see what they look like. Hey there, welcome back. So I pulled it out of the oven and you can tell, look at those beautiful colors. Everything's got a little nice golden look to it. Caramelized all those flavors. Let's see what we have here. Throw them into our bowl. And now, get to go ahead and give it a try. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. All right, so there you go. So roasted root vegetables, choose any vegetables that you like, and roast it on a roasting pan for about 45 minutes, and you're ready to go. Super easy. Hope you enjoyed this. See you again soon.